Anyway, so that's my debate as to why he's the GOAT.
Right.
Well, so number one, Cam, get off the show.
Yes. Oh.
Number one, get off the show. Number two, get off the show. So I just want to point out before we, get started talking about the playoffs and things of that nature. I picked Edge Hill to win. I am the smartest man in this sport. I always have been. I always will be. No one can catch me up Edge Hill. Just saying. Did you pick it? No.
Could catch you.
Did you pick it at home? No. Unless you were on Edge Hill, you probably picked it 6-2 against Liverpool. Doesn't mean anything because that just relegates Liverpool. So, tee-hee-hee, good on Edge Hill. And then the Derby and Leicester game, we'll talk a little bit because there's two games that happened yesterday. Not too much to talk about. I mean, the big thing about Edge Hill versus Liverpool is that I picked them. And I picked it right. And then Derby versus Leicester we'll get into. A little bit weird, but because of the Liverpool versus Edge Hill result, it doesn't actually matter. So Teb's here with SJ and Cam.
Did we ever get a Kent KCL score?
No, we didn't. No,
we've
had a few people asking about that, and the last time I checked Bucks play, which was last night, it just said that the fixture is still scheduled for the 18th or the 13th. It's still scheduled. There hasn't been any update. I'm sure SJ is probably looking at it right now.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think if you consider everything that's gone on at KCL this week, obviously the head coach has left. Yep. I think it's going to. I'm going to be really interested to see what happens with the regions over the next couple of weeks. Now
it's going to be interesting. Obviously, like losing your head coach right before the playoffs, especially when you are undefeated. I know they've got the draw against Kent, but undefeated, it's going to be an interesting road for KCL. But it makes it even more difficult when you consider that it really messes up the playoff brackets, which we're going to do some predicting. So once again, or not once again, because it's the first time we've done this. We're just guessing here. Do not take these as facts. You will know by next week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know that for a fact either. Stop making guarantees. We're going to guess them, but obviously, the KCL Kent game is crucial, and that is going to be something that has to be very much dived into. But we're going to do our preview first, and then we're going to get into what we think the playoffs are going to be. Hello, everyone in the Instagram. Good old Cardiff's watching. Cardiff, you know who you've got. You've got Warwick, and then you've probably got Brunel if you beat Warwick. But I have to. I'd love to beat Brunel. I'd love to beat. Well, I mean, last year I picked Cardiff to beat Warwick in the playoffs, and that game was. I was about to say that game was horrible. The weather was horrible. The game was good, but the weather was horrible. But it was played at Birmingham, which is odd. But oh god, the weather in that game, probably the worst weather game I've ever done. Actually, standing by myself with an umbrella. Umbrella broke. I cried, but I cry at most games. So we're going to get into the preview. So in the National Premiership this week, it is Nottingham versus Durham. You look at what happened last week with Nottingham and Uwe, 29-0, and their starting quarterback out. He's done some damage to his leg. I get reports of. I've got reports of multiple levels of severity, so I'm not going to sit here and say that he's done blank, and blank. But he won't be playing. It's as simple as that. And I mean Durham 74-0 against Loughborough. Are we expecting a demolition?
I don't know. Because losing the QB just means they probably won't score as many points. Defense is still theoretically the same, which we know their defense is pretty good. Yeah, they're coming off a loss to UWE as well, so I can kind of see Durham maybe putting a little bit of BTA.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Sorry, SJ.
Yeah, I think I would back Durham in this one, but I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a blowout.
Do
I
you
don't
not
think it'll be a
so?
blowout
Okay.
at all. I think that yes, not to have lost their QB, but the backups had times to actually go through it. I know it's only been a week, but I think I trust that Knott's coaching staff to be able to do something within a week to plan for this.
I also don't think it's going to be a blowout, but
you just said they're going to put BTA
yeah,
on
but
them. That is
I
literally
think
you
a
saying
game
it's
can
going to
be
be a
not
blowout.
close and not be a blowout at the same time.
That's what a blowout is.
No, because I don't think.
Okay. Then
How many points do you think they'll win
how
by?
do you categorize the difference then?
How many think?
Well, a blowout for me is a win over 50. A game that isn't close is a game where Durham didn't look like they were going to lose. Doesn't matter what the score is.
How many points?
They could win 28-14, and as long as it didn't look close at any point. You know, the Super Bowl last year between the Chiefs and the Eagles wasn't close, but the Eagles still conceded a load of points.
But I just don't think they're going to concede a load of points.
No, I don't think they're going to concede a load of points. But
to be fair, I mean, talking about this wearing a UE Bullets t-shirt is probably not the best visual in the world, but we move. But yeah, I don't think Nottingham are going to be able to win this game. I think Durham are, they are the hottest team in British University American football. Given what football's currently being played right now, I think there's even a possibility to say that the Durham are the hottest team in the world currently playing. You know, like, who else is playing American football right now? Like, it's not that.
That's not a ridiculous take.
It's not. I think
right now.
I think that that's not a ridiculous take, especially considering that it's the first year where it's not the UE Bullets having the most amount of momentum at the highest level of British University American football.
So look, inarguably, are we saying that this is the greatest game of American football being played this weekend in the world?
No.
No, because Imperial versus Queen Mary.
Yeah, and then you've also got Coventry versus. You've also got Coventry versus
Coventry DMU.
You got Coventry DMU, and so I was asked, are you going to be going up to Durham versus Nottingham? No, brother, I'm going to QMB versus Imperial. Where's
are you actually?
Am I? Oh my God, we know that I'm going. I've said it multiple times. Do you not watch the content?
I'm going to.
I think TJ's going as well.
We're all going.
Yay. But it's a big game. We'll get on to QMBL versus Imperial, and then we've got, I'd argue, probably the more interesting national premiership fixture, and that is Leeds Beckett versus Loughborough. Of course, Leeds Beckett need to beat Loughborough by 7 points, and they will stay in the national premiership.
I think this is an interesting one because I was saying to someone this week this could go down to just one freak play. Yeah. This could be just one broken play could decide the entire where these teams are playing next year.
I mean, it depends how Loughborough bounce back. Really, like losing 74-0.
Well, this is I said this on the Monday show. If Loughborough turn around and they say to us, "Hey, we were resting our starters in that game versus Durham," I'm not going to be like, "That's a terrible move." No, definitely do that because this game is the most important game of your season, and it's not out of the realm of possibility here that Leeds Beckett can come away with it. I mean, if the first game is only decided by 6 points, then what could happen here? Obviously, it is in Leeds as well, which I'm sure could play a factor in it. But right now, I'd say that is one of the most exciting games. Probably, say not for the wrong reasons, but promotion relegation. That's always a great reason to get yourself down there. And I'm trying to. Well, to be fair, I don't know if you're going, Cam. Are you going? Have you decided yet? Well, not decided.
It's not a decision. I still need to double check if something overlaps. I mean, it's an 80-yard field, so the offense is going to be a lot more interesting.
This is it. Well, hopefully we're going to send Cam there, so we will make note of that if Cam is there, because that's a game that Well, I think we should definitely feature if Cam is able to go to that game, because again, massive game. And
I think
what
the funniest outcome would be this game happens, obviously, and then SGS win the national Vars.
yeah,
Don't accept promotion, and we just go around
I
again.
Yeah.
thought they couldn't decline it this year. I swear
They can.
I heard loads of things about how they weren't allowed to decline it this year.
They can decline. They're in their right to
listen to us.
decline.
So Loughborough versus
I believe
Beckett.
it.
Loughborough versus Beckett. Be as truthful as you can. How do you see this game going?
I think Loughborough will
Yeah,
win.
I think
Quite
Loughborough
convincingly.
will win. I don't think it'll be convincingly. Like, they didn't beat Leeds Beckett convincingly last time.
No.
Yeah, but it was not to quote, but it was raining.
Is that the tagline for this show? Is that the tagline? It was raining.
Yeah, but Loughborough's biggest strength is their pass game. They couldn't do that in that game because the conditions were horrendous.
Someone, one of you two, check the weather in Leeds on Sunday. Someone do it. What's it looking like?
I mean, I could check it now, I guess.
Exactly. To
Sunday,
be fair,
the
Cam,
prediction-
you
the
do it.
prediction
Cam,
is
you do it
rain.
because all you've got to do is load up your weather app, whereas we have
The
to type
prediction
in
is
Leeds.
rain.
Predictions rain. Leeds Beckett by no. I think Loughborough will win, and realistically, like I imagine they want to put on a bit of a show here, considering the lackluster performance against Beckett the first time round. They want to be able to sort of remove that doubt that has followed Loughborough all season because of that Leeds Beckett result. But I mean, if there is a game where both players, both teams are going to be playing absolute balls to the wall football, it's going to be this one. Both these teams are fighting to, not going down into the Premiership, where hopefully, where Cam's team's not going to be, and hopefully SJ's team will also not be. Well, your team's not there, is it?
Well, yeah, I know. Just laughing.
Just great. TJ's going 16-0 to Loughborough.
Yeah,
I don't hate that
I
as
don't
a score. I
disagree with
don't
that.
think it's going to be high scoring,
No.
but be interested to see if Leeds Beckett could put. I'd imagine I'd go on a. It's not a massive statement, but I think Beckett would probably put some points on the board.
Yeah,
I think
I swear they did last time, wasn't it? Like
They did.
14, wasn't it 14-8 or something? Or like
Yeah, I think so.
in that regards, like Leeds Beckett do have an offense that works. They scored points against Nottingham. Like they're not. I don't think they're that bad.
I think Beckett needs to go down to reset. To be honest,
But this is it. Is that like I feel like they do need to go down to reset, but they're still going into the Prem North. Like obviously this is the first time. Well, hopefully the first time we'll have someone be relegated from the National Premiership, because we don't have a frame of reference for what it looks like when someone is relegated from the National Premiership. Obviously, last year it would have been Beckett anyway, but then do we know that Beckett would have succeeded in the Prem North this year, where it's been relatively close with Newcastle being able to take points off of Warwick?
I think they would have done.
I think they would have done as well.
I think they would have done. Now,
Oh, don't hum me, Griffins boy.
having seen clips of it. Shut up, man! You've never watched a good game of football in your life.
Lincoln and Leeds, what a classic.
I mean, I've seen a couple of Beckett games. I've seen a couple of North games, and I think Beckett would have held their own in Prem North. I think they'll win Prem North next year if they were to go down. I think either team that might potentially come down would win the Prem North.
Well,
I completely agree. But then you go into the Prem North next year, and I mean you got to shout out the Midlands one here, because if Loughborough go down, you've got Loughborough, NTU, and Warwick, and those teams. Like if you look back on the history of the Division 1, I'm talking, brother. I'm still talking. If you look at a close-knit division where the games would go back and forth, it was Loughborough, it was NTU, and it was Warwick, and you could arguably even throw the Cov Jets in there as well.
for football heritage is what we've got. In the
Wouldn't
Premier.
Warwick be bumped back down to the south if Brunel go up? Because they'd need another team to fill in the south, and Warwick.
I mean, it's definitely a discussion that needs to be had. I completely agree with that. Yeah.
So because Warwick, were a team in the south at some point a couple of seasons ago.
Oh yeah. I imagine some point, but not recently.
Yeah. Warwick have never been in the
south. I thought it had, but I think they are the most northern team.
I completely agree with what you're saying. But
from a Bucks standpoint, the best result would be if it's a North team that's going against a North team to go up.
Well, yeah, obviously it'd be the same as the best option is that Napier don't go up.
Can you imagine? And especially when you said that Napier, you know, I'd argue they're the favourites to go up right now. So
yeah,
that's going to be really fun for everyone in the Prem North. But then it raises the question, like, you know, we've seen this many teams in Scotland for so long. When Napier goes up, are they going to try and fill the void? Because it wouldn't surprise me if Aberdeen aren't even factored into plans next year.
You know, they can't be considering a Highlands division again, surely. Like,
well, this, you know, it's very much, you know, no one speaks highly of the Borders. You talk to anyone, no one likes the Borders division, not a single person. But I mean, when you look at some of the teams that are going up and coming down, you know, there might be space for it. I think, you know, I don't think, you know, not having Aberdeen there for a year is not the worst thing in the world. But then if you're taking Napier and Aberdeen out, you got Glasgow, Heriot, Mavericks and Stirling in a div.
Yeah, I guess Sunderland coming up probably helps that if Sunderland come up.
But this is that because of that loss to Hull, Sunderland are now in a position where they're not in the driver's seat. We'll get into it, of course, with the size. I think it's York that are currently in the driving seat.
Yeah, I've got it. I have it written down from earlier when I sent through all that stuff. But I mean, I guess that it would either make York or Sunderland the most northern teams, no? Or a Lancashire closer to Scotland?
I don't imagine so.
I'm not good with UK geography.
You're not good at geography. End of. I can't remember if it's you or Dylan. Where's Solent?
No, that was me. I'm bad at UK. I'm great at GeoGuessr.
Stop trying to steal TJ's gimmick, man. That's not on.
Oh yeah, he plays that.
So moving on to the Northern one result from yesterday, the Edgehill Vikings defeat the Liverpool Raptors 6-2. You know, I'm happy I got it right, but you know, at the end of the day, because of that, you know, Liverpool and Edgehill are down. I think, you know, it's time. I have to give praise to Jamie here because he called Liverpool getting relegated from the start. From the start, he was dead set on Liverpool getting relegated. And I didn't want to believe it personally, just because, you know, doing this for X amount of years, we saw the fight that Liverpool had to go through in order to, you know, even get promoted up into Division 1. I don't know if I'd agree with him saying that their jump up to the Prem last year is what killed them. But, I mean, you know, Liverpool Raptors playing Div 2 football again is a sad story.
I think going up killed them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think taking that promotion killed them.
Yeah. You could argue that. They spent a season basically getting the teeth beat out of them. And then you're a fresher coming to uni. Yeah, but you're a fresher coming to uni next year and you go, what am I going to do? Am I going to join the rugby threes that at least won 4 games?
Hold on a second there, Cameron. Would you like to tell me what your team's record was?
We got a draw. No, but it's exactly the point. Like, Lincoln's best recruitment years came after having a good playing year. You know, their worst recruitment year came after not having the greatest of seasons. Like, it's kind of swings and roundabouts. Freshers, people who've never played the sport before, who are, you know, trying to find a reason to pick that sport over another. They're not going to go, well, actually, I fancy getting, you know, the ever-loving, like, life beaten out of me every week. whilst playing a sport I don't know how to play.
I wouldn't go that far to say that Liverpool were getting the ever-loving.
No. I'm not going that far either. But they don't see that. They see a 1-7 record and go, these guys suck.
Yeah, but this is what's
would I
great
join
about
them?
Uniball, because every recruitment cycle is a gamble.
Yeah.
Obviously some teams, when they were able to bring people in, it's a bit more of a sure thing, of course. But at the end of the day, when you've got these new students who are walking around the fair, that is, as much of a game of roulette as you could possibly get. So,
At the end of the day,
sorry.
Every Uniball season is decided by a university admission team. So you just need to get on them to get better, really, Can you guys start, please, targeting some big fat guys at university admissions events?
Well, that's it, right? And then if we're also look next year at the North West 2, there are some good, that might be the most interesting division come the 26-27 season, because you're going to have Salford, you're either going to have Lancaster or LJMU, you're going to have Liverpool, you're going to have Edge Hill. Begs the question, where does Staffordshire go? Where does Kiel go? Staffordshire were in the Midlands, so was Kiel. Are they going to move around? Are UEA going to come and join the Midlands too? It's a lot to consider.
Chester.
But Chester Legion, I don't know how close they are to coming back, but they could come back.
Banger in theory, they could exist.
Banger in theory as well, and that's the division that they would be going into. So, the Northwest 2 has the possibility to be one of the most exciting divisions next year. But I mean, it's going to take a lot of moving people around, which is why when it comes to August time when it's released, that's going to be one that I'm going to keep my eyes on. But then even if you're looking at far too early predictions here, if you're looking at a division that has Liverpool and Edge Hill and LJMU and Salford and maybe Lancaster, that's a tough division.
SGS versus Bruno should have happened. Yeah, man, Adam, I know.
Yeah,
happened.
we agree.
Do you know
I
what?
want it.
Do you know what? We didn't think about trying. Thanks, Adam.
Sorry, didn't think about playing the game.
Damn! Eckhart, you're right. Damn, I should have put that to the SU.
It was someone said they went, "Oh, did you ask SGS to host?" Oh my god!
Oh no!
Why didn't we think of that? Did you ask to play on Wednesday? Oh,
no, Tebs,
should have tried that as well.
I think kind of followed up from what you said. It will be interesting next year. Northeast 2 has 4 teams in it this year. After Bradford dropped out. So I guess looking at it, you've got Lincoln that could go into the Northeast 2.
Yeah, I mean, obviously depends if Hull go up. To be fair,
I'm so confused.
It's like Lincoln.
But hang on a minute.
No,
why am I
no
getting
news on
cyberbullied by
KTM
someone from
yet.
Chichester?
Yeah, sorry,
I'm getting bullied by someone from Chichester, man.
we did discuss Kent versus KCL, and it was a very short conversation because there's still nothing. We've reached out to both teams in regards to do they know what's happening, and we've not had a response. It's not on Bucks Play. Eckhart's trying to change the rules.
It's not. No, to be fair, he's not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because Gloucestershire got mugged out of a spot because we couldn't do a Wednesday a few years ago. Still bitter.
For it was what would be the point of it?
It would.
Do you know what I mean? What would be the point of it?
Potentially knock SGS out of playoff. Oh no, it wouldn't. They're in the prep.
That's why Cardiff are there, saying you should have got Walker because then he would have got a home game. But we were just like, it's not. There's no point of it.
Yeah. Well, fair.
He just doesn't want the potential to play on Site 5 again.
No one wants to
I don't want the potential for you to play on Site 5 again. I don't want that. I'd much rather go to good old Clan Rumney, because at least it's 3G at the very least. I don't have to worry about ruining my shoes.
Sorry.
No, it's my fault, mate.
Where were we?
We were
game
on fixtures. We've turned this
Derby versus Leicester.
we were on fixtures.
Derby versus Leicester. So bit of a strange one here. It's obviously coming in late. So unfortunately, the Leicester Longhorns had an injured player on a touchdown play, and we do hope that player is okay. But the time it took to get the ambulance for said player was past the point in which the floodlights would be on, and they were told that they weren't able to play out the rest of the game. This was just after Leicester scored a touchdown, so they were unable to actually attempt the PAT.
No,
So
they did the PAT, I swear. We got a DM saying they attempted it.
no, SJ, what have you heard? Because I've heard that.
I don't really hear much.
I've heard. Let me look back. I heard that they were not able to attempt the PAT, which makes it a little bit shifty because obviously, like at the very least, it could have been a draw. But then obviously with the Edge Hill victory over Liverpool, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because Derby would have stayed up, regardless.
Yeah, sorry. So Leicester are saying before PAT attempt, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, guys, I don't really think it matters because the score was meaningless.
No, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate where Leicester is coming from, in the sense of, like they could have won that football game, and it is a shame. But we had a message off Leicester last night saying, nope, the game was abandoned, and it's sort of a cut and dry answer. It's on Bucks players, a 7-6 win to Derby. I can put an asterisk in the caption, but at the end of the day,
It's one of those things. Bucks look here. Bucks will go, well, 75% of the fixture was played when it was London, so it stand as much as it is a pretty cruel way to have it. Because I thought at first it was touchdown, extra point, and then 2 field goals. I mean, I think it's just horrendous bad luck, but
yeah,
like I said, it doesn't impact anything.
That's it. That's the view I think I'm taking on it. Is it doesn't affect anything in the grand scheme of things. Leicester winning the game doesn't save them. Derby losing the game doesn't stop them from being in playoffs. Like, man.
So TJ's asked how Uniball promotion, playoffs, relegation works. So for the National Premiership, it's the top 4 teams, and then the worst place team in the National Premiership then goes on to play a promotion relegation game versus the winner of the Premiership. Premiership is the same, both 4 teams from each conference. The worst one goes down, and then it's inter-division in the first round, and then obviously whoever wins out of those. Division 1, it's whoever has the worst record will get relegated unless you are in the Midlands 2 or Northern 1, and in that case it's the worst performing second to worst team also gets relegated. So in this case it's Edge Hill were relegated flat out, and then Liverpool were relegated as well from the Northern 1 because there's no relegation from the Scottish 1. Then for the playoffs, it works where the top 2 teams from each division go into the playoffs, and then the 2 best performing third place teams also make the playoffs as well. And for Division 2, that's the same. So it's the top 2 teams from each division plus the 2 best third place teams. And how promotion works there is you just got to win your division. So right now, and we will be getting into it.
Could have just sent him the Bucks knockout info, to be fair, but
well, I'll explain it. I don't mind. So moving on to Division 2, because this is where the meat is this week. This is where the meat is. Starting off with York St John versus the Sunderland Spartans. I know it's a bit of an oxymoron to be like, here's the meat, and then it's York St John. So it's at home to York St John. So there is a concern about if this game gets played. I'm sure that Sunderland definitely want this game to get played. But
I don't
it stands
think York
right
St
now.
John have played a home game this year.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the message that I get is York is underwater. Is the phrase that I get most weekends here. But yeah, I mean, sort of another disappointing season for York St John, and I'd argue a disappointing season for Sunderland. They were looking pretty hot, but then that loss to Hull has really knocked them off the rails, and they need some. Do they need favours to get in? Can they get in?
Sorry, let me scroll up in the chat.
Can they get promoted?
I think they still can get promoted, but yeah, they're relying heavily on like draws and stuff.
Not ideal.
So I've got it here. If Hull beat York, then they win the title. If York wins and Sunderland loses, then York wins. I don't think Sunderland can physically win the title.
Which is nuts. Considering that they were they were smashing They were absolutely smashed people. It looked like it was Sunderland's all day long, but it's coming down to Hull versus York. It's going to be interesting the situation because I imagine the Spartans are probably going to end up beating York St John, but then that Hull versus York game is, again, I say it every week. If I could go to all the games, this would be one that I would definitely put a pin in for Hull versus York, because obviously last time ended in a draw. So we know that they're pretty evenly matched, but Hull seem like the hot hand if I'm looking at this fixture.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Jamie's not here to basically say that Hull are bad. But yeah, I think Hull are the hot hand here. I'd be very surprised if they don't walk away with it, if I'm honest. Sorry, Connor. Then the Northwest 2, let's be completely honest, it's a complete mess. It's like we can try and figure out who's in the playoff spot, but truthfully, there's no point because
so the only notes I've got on the Northwest 2 right now are I'm not touching it. It's so as it stands, the Lancaster versus LJMU result is still a walkover to LJMU, despite both teams claiming it's not a walkover to LJMU. But I can only go off what Bucks Play says at the minute, which means Lancaster aren't currently making the playoffs, and there's not really a path for them to do so, because they immediately lose any head-to-head thanks to the walkover rule. So at the minute, it looks like Staffs are going to make playoffs with a 1-1 record and potentially no other games played.
Nuts. That's nuts, isn't
it? So I'm just taking the assumption that LJMU have won and are winning the title. It's
which is nuts. It's such a shame for the Lancaster Bombers to have to go out on that. Obviously, it's different. Obviously, with the Case Hill Kent situation, it very much mirrors that. LJMU turn up. They did play a scrimmage, I believe.
Yeah, that LJMU won.
Which LJMU won, but then reporting on scrimmages is silly. Is it possible for Hull, York, and Sunderland to all make the playoffs? I'll defer that to Cam.
I can read out the bracket. Where
can we let's get round to that?
Once we've been through.
So Tom will walk it onto that. So I mean, Chris is going to be sort of the key point here. Lancaster claim it was an unforeseen facility issue. Definitely no other games played by us, by the way. So Chris in the Instagram comments is the head coach of the Staffordshire Stallions. So he's very much the person to listen to in this particular endeavour.
So you guys, congrats on potentially making the playoffs with a 1-1 record.
It's such a shame that that division shaped up. Obviously, I think if we're looking at it, a good first season from Salford in the games they've played. That's the one sort of big takeaway. But for me, Lancaster, it's not a situation you want to be in, and the big enemy of Uniball this year has been the weather, much like it is every single year, but very much could cost the Lancaster Bombers, who I think are a hot team, and I think could have, even in a difficult division like the Northern One, could have done okay, could have stayed up and potentially built upon that. Whereas LJMU coming back down, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that LJMU aren't a good team. I do like LJMU. I think I picked them to take this division at the start of the season. But yeah, it's just a bit of a cluster. It seems like the time in which these teams are going to play their most amount of games concurrently is going to be the playoffs, and then it becomes the case of are they prepared for that, going through. Which is why me personally, I think that the team that wins the Div 2 Northern Conference is going to be coming from the only consistent Division 2 Northern division. And that's the Midlands 2. So we'll move on to the Midlands 2. And I mean two of the biggest games of the weekend. Two of the biggest games of the weekend. We'll just read out what Chris said. We're livid, to be honest. We expect to go at least 1-1 in our last two games. So still 0.500, but it is poor. You got to agree, it's just been a cavalcade of errors in that division. But moving back to the Midlands, two of the best fixtures, hands down, of the weekend. Again, we wish we could be there for them, but we're only an X amount of crew living in different places in the country. Let's start off with the second edition of the Coldham's Cup. It's the ARU Siege versus the Cambridge Pythons. great game. I still think they've lost a little bit of it. Obviously, ARU losing to DMU is what has kickstarted the DMU revolution, so to speak. But I still think it's going the way of the Pythons.
I'm hoping for a draw.
Yeah.
I need a draw.
You need a draw. Is that what you need for
I need a
DMU?
draw. DMU can win the title, but it relies on ARU.
I tell you what, Cam.
Glory.
I tell you what, there is a cruel twist of fate where you've got two ex-Lincoln Colonials hoping for a DMU promotion. It's a cruel twist of
It's
fate.
just funny. Starting the season 0-2 and then going on a tear to go 4-2 and get promoted from what is arguably one of the most competitive divisions in the country.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be hilarious. And I'd love it for any team.
But this is, you know, DMU, but ARU versus Cambridge, who have you two got for that game?
I think I went with Cambridge.
Yeah, I think I went with Cames as well. Like I said, I hope for a draw, but if you've got to look at it realistically, ARU seem to have been on a slump since they got beaten by DMU.
I'd agree with that.
Pretty close game against Lincoln at the start of the season, which was shaky for them, but I thought they looked better than they have been.
But yeah, I agree. I think Cambridge has got it, but I mean, probably the big fixture here. Two of the teams that are on a dream run, the Linsanity run. It's the Coventry University Jets versus the DMU Lions. Coventry win this game, Cam, if I'm correct. Coventry are heading back up to Division 1. And I think that, for me, that is a story. That is a story of a lifetime for the Coventry University Jets. I
think Cov have got it in.
Let's be real. I think I've done this like diatribe already. Coventry in the Midlands one for the last 3 years were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Easily the worst team in Division 1 North. I think that's fair to say. And right now, as far as I'm concerned, the Coventry University Jets, for my taste anyway, are the favourites to win the Northern Conference Cup.
I'd say that's not a bad take. I would just put it down to the fact that they play their games with Depth Shot Sports branded game balls.
Yes, which they will be getting pictures to us of hopefully soon. Cov best defense in D2. I mean, again, doing well here. Like it's. Don't get me wrong. I think there are some teams in the Southern that would very much disagree with you. Mainly, probably Imperial and Swansea. But yeah, I love this game. I have gone for the Coventry University Jets. I think that I love this. I love this story of the Coventry University Jets.
It's quite funny because I'd argue you've not even got the best defense in Div 2 Midlands. You've conceded more points than Cambridge. So,
well, he's got you.
You clearly have a very good defense. You only conceded what 20.
Yeah, his thing is Jaden here. Imperial have the best defense in Div 2. Yeah,
I think it might be Swansea or one of the southern teams because they've not conceded much.
No. So the way that I look at it is I don't even start looking into it until they play someone out of their division.
Yeah.
Because it's an age-old thing.
Although I'd say stats-wise, it's Reading. Like best in D2 is Reading.
Number one, Reading notes. But then you have to consider, like, didn't Reading also drops maybe the most points they've conceded this season to the Chichester Spitfires? Maybe
that just shows how good Chichester are.
Well, we'll get on to Chichester, but
on the rise.
But have we all gone for Cov Jets here? I think we all have. Maybe Jamie's gone for DMU. So moving on to
the playoff bracket for the North.
We will do that,
mate. Can we do everything else
first? We'll do the preview first. So moving to the Southeast too, there's obviously a big game in here, but we're going to go to the other one. Essex Blades versus the City Wolfpack. Another disappointing season for City, though, being able to get some wins. There's still no playoff for the Wolfpack, which is a shame. That's what we hope for City, just because they've never had a playoff berth, which is always something to be nice to see. But I mean, the big one here for me out of these two teams is how disappointing the Essex Blades have been.
Yeah,
I thought they'd bring it back this year. I thought they'd rebuild, they'd have a good run, but they're just.
I'm surprised.
It sounds harsh to say it, but it just doesn't seem like it's been any positive for them in this season so far.
Could UEA versus Essex be an all-time low varsity this year?
I mean, yeah, potentially.
Quality-wise, I think it'll be the weakest it's ever been.
Yeah, which is mad when you consider like where they were, you know. But I mean, again, not a obviously it'll be something to look out for the 26-27 season. Is can the Essex Blades rebound here? Because realistically, you know, something I always say, and it's a bit cliche. I do understand that you know the only way is up when you've had a season like the Essex Blades. If anyone says no, okay, I was always going to make a joke there. But moving on to the Southeast 2, this is the fixture, and I'm so happy to be there. It is the QMBL Vipers versus the Imperial Immortals. QMBL need to win by 2 to get promoted. Imperial just need a win here. I think there's a distinct possibility that this game will end by just a single point, and QMBL will not be able to take it from them. Imperial's defense is very good, but there are low-scoring games, very low-scoring games.
I think it'll be 7-6.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, like it's going to be going like to that limit. As Jaden said, one of the best defense in the league. I do want to touch on a point that you made on Monday, SJ. That is, when you look at these two teams, which one is probably in the best spot to be promoted? QMBL. What happens if QMBL won 7-6? Imperial are promoted.
No,
No,
because it would actually be QMBL getting promoted because they've only conceded 13 points this season.
It's like,
but are you?
it goes on hit.
But are you?
Yeah, but if they both games were 7-6, no.
Oh, if it's 7-6, then
Yeah.
then
That's why I said it. Yeah, if QMBL wins 7-6, QMBL actually have the best defense in Div 2. I was wrong. They've only conceded 13 points.
Good game. It's a good game. It'll be a defensive game, but I didn't know that. So, yeah. So I mean, when it goes up.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
When it goes up, that's even better than hoping for the QMBL Vipers to get a safety. Everyone else has gone for Imperial, and I understand why. But just based on something you said on Monday, SJ, I've gone for QMBL because I do agree with you that they are the team that is, you know, the best sort of facilitated to be promoted out of QMBL and Imperial. However, I will also say that Imperial have sort of always had a small squad of athletes who are very good. So that could just be me going, just not giving Imperial the credit they deserve. But I do understand that is the sort of niche that Imperial have when it comes to coverage, right?
That's what I'm basing it on. It's nothing to do with their ability to play football. It's been more a case of I don't think they've got the squad size to sustain Division 1 more than anything. But
yeah, and I mean, and that's why, you know, that will be the game that I most certainly am going to be at. And I'm unsure if SJ will be there. I think TJ will be there.
It's 5 minutes for me.
Nathan coming in, KCL agreed to go with a different head coach. Well, I'd certainly hope so. Coming in, but
no head coach.
But yeah,
no level 2 coach.
But yeah, so moving on to he's gone. He's back in. Let me just add Cam back in quickly. Southwest 2.
That was weird.
The Gloucestershire Gladiators versus the Swansea Titans. Gloucestershire needs to defeat Swansea to make the playoffs, I believe. But Swansea are on a roll here. As much as I love the old home club, Swansea are on a roll. Going to be going the way of the Titans.
Yeah.
Not much to say on that.
Yeah.
Can't disagree.
Do you think there's a possibility that Gloucestershire pull off a big upset? But I'm not going to put my house on it. Do you know what I mean? But good on them. Then it's the UE Bullets 2s versus the Bath Bar Bulldogs. Again, not much to really talk about here. Do we think that the UE Bullets are contenders to win the Southern Conference Cup, or are there just too many teams above them?
Well, I think again, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. You know, this year could have been a year, and then Swansea got on a 10. I think Swansea are better than them. So I don't know. I don't think it is there yet.
It is. You know, again, we've spoken about it. Like, I've got no hate towards Swansea, but it's just like, just please do something next year. Just please please do something. I don't think that's that harsh. You went up and you did nothing last year, and then you were back down and you didn't win the Southern Conference Cup with an American D1 QB. You lost to Brighton, and then the year before that you were relegated from the Southwest One. It's like do something, Swansea, please. It's Swansea. You deserve to win the Southern Conference Cup. You deserve to do it. So please just do it. Just put some put some metal in the trophy cabinet, for crying out loud, and shut me up. Most importantly, moving on to the Southern one, it's the Surrey Stingers versus the Royal Holloway Bears. I think Surrey have just come off a loss that has lost them promotion. I think that there's a chance that Surrey could really put a beat in here on the Royal Holloway Bears, who just lost to the Chichester Spitfires.
I think that's the only way I see this one go. I think Royal Holloway are. I think for them it's just getting rid of the season, rebuilding.
Yeah.
And trying to push back
So
up.
Surrey haven't blown promotion.
Go on, Cam.
Oh no, I'm wrong. No, sorry, I'm wrong. Reading.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem at all.
yeah, they have. It's only Surrey and it's only Reading and Sussex that can get promoted.
I tell you what, if I would absolutely love if Sussex sweep in at the last second after losing to Surrey and everyone thinking that their season's over. Sussex just go, nope, that's ours now. Thank you very much. I don't think it will happen, but it'd be very funny if it did. That's going to be
gets promoted.
And we're going to get onto that one last. We are witnessing. We could be on the verge of something truly spectacular in the final week of the season, and I don't mean a promotion winning up game. I'm talking about a potential 2-win Chichester Spitfires team. They take on the Solent Redhawks.
When did that last happen?
Last year. 2 wins Chichester. It's never happened. No, I don't know.
No.
It's definitely happened before.
I don't know, but I'm happy. It makes me happy.
I tell you what, there is nothing like the unity of British University American football when you see a victory by the Chichester Spitfires. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all gone Chichester against Solent. If you look at teams that
I went Solent.
Why?
Because I genuinely just habit of voting against Chichester.
But this
just got reaction.
Bad,
Chichester's name and went.
I feel like if you look at the teams, obviously Solent not up in D1, but if you look at a team that has gone from contending sort of every year to get promoted up.
18, 19
the Chichester historians have joined the chat. They're like, no.
But this is it. But if you look at a team that was contending at Div 2 and always putting on good performances, the fall off of the Solent Redhawks is something that is, pretty bad. They're a team that lost to Chichester last year, and I felt we've not spoken about.
They were up there one year, weren't they?
I think they may have been
pushing for promotion.
When I first started doing this, Solent Redhawks were a team you could, stake some money upon, but not anymore. Chichester Spitfires, Chichester all the way. If I could be at that game, I'd be at that game. But speaking of games that I'd like to be at, the last one we'll do before we get to our playoff brackets, it is the Sussex Saxons versus the Reading Knights. Big game here. Cam, are you able to tell me what do the Sussex Saxons need?
A win.
Simple as that?
Sorry, 2 seconds. Let me pull up because they would be even on points with Reading. They need to win and score. They need to win by 23 or more.
Oh, and that's a difficult defense to do it on. But there's still life in the Saxons. Sorry.
No, they just need to win.
Have they already played? No, they haven't played. No, you're right, they haven't played. So Sussex can come in here and sort of steal the league from underneath Reading. They'd make my rankings look very silly if they did. So if you could not, that'd be great. But I think Sussex could do it. But for me, Reading have been one of, if not the strongest team in the Div 2 South.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Same as a couple of years ago, isn't it? Really?
Breathe, Tibbs. Yeah, it's. I think both. I think both the Sussex Saxons and the Reading Knights could do well in Div 1. My issue with the Sussex Saxons is they've been on the fringe of promotion for the last few years. That is not something you can maintain. I do worry that if Sussex go up, they may have sort of burnt through their good years, and I don't mean the tyres, to be able to get to that point, right? Whereas the Reading Knights, you look at their roster, it's a very large roster. They'll be going up into a very, very tough division. But I mean, if you're the Reading Knights you're looking at how the Oxford Lancers are done, or even if you're the Sussex Saxons, you're probably licking your lips that you might be able to stay up there based on the performance of the Lancers this season.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But I think Reading will take it. I'll be surprised if Reading don't go back up. I think they suffered. I think I said it last year. They suffered from being in a really tough division, probably the strongest that division's been in a while.
Yep.
Oh, somebody on
So-
YouTube asked when the Prem playoffs start. I think it's the 5th. Is it?
Prem playoffs start on the first of March.
Sorry, I didn't know when the what day the Sunday was. That's why I said 5th. My bad.
Right. So, Quinton's here. Quinton, I'm not talking about your team. Your team's on a break. You're on holiday now. Right. Let's ruin someone's day over at Bucks. What do we think the playoffs look like?
National's easy.
Yeah, national and Prem are both already sorted, so that's not really.
Well, read about regardless.
Well, National's not sorted. National is Leeds, Beckett, or Loughborough versus Durham or
Durham.
Yeah, Durham probably, and then Notts versus UWE probably, and then the Prem definitely is sorted. We've got Brunel versus Newcastle, be Northumbria and Cardiff. Is it?
No.
Or Northumbria?
No,
Yes.
Warwick,
Right,
Cardiff.
I'll do it.
We'll do it.
I was trying to remember
you've
who
got
was
one
second
side
in the
of
south.
Yeah, so one side of the bracket you've got Brunel, Newcastle, and Cardiff, Warwick
Yeah.
versus Cardiff. And then the other side is NTU versus Portsmouth and SGS versus Northumbria.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, like, because of what I expect is, I think that is a very interesting concept. SGS having to travel to potentially NTU, which, well, I think NTU. I think that is going to be a very, very interesting, fixture, because SGS don't really tend to travel that much outside of their division. They've not been second in their division, apart from obviously when they were in the Premiership, they would have to go up to places. But I can't remember the last time that was. I just remember, Leeds coming down to play them.
They went up to Nottingham 1 year, and then I think Durham has travelled to them, and I think Durham beat them.
Oh, what, to make the finals that year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it makes sense. But I'm interested to see what NTU would be able to do versus SGS, considering if NTU gets past Portsmouth, as much as that may be me, sort of having a go at Northumbria there. I do think that I do think SGS is a better team than the Northumbria Mustangs.
I think, and there's gonna be some people that are gonna say,
Here
I'm
we
ridiculous
go.
for saying it. I think the South will win all 4 games.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. Completely agree.
Yeah, I for me, the one that cast doubt is NTU and Portsmouth. I do agree that we have spoken about it, that Portsmouth are getting hot at the right time, but I still like NTU. From what I can gather, they are quite dynamic, and I think it would be a shame for like Northern Premiership football if it just consists of the South from the off.
I mean, no, Warwick's running back is really, really good. I was about to say I don't think they played a good running back up north, but I think it is Edward. I think Edward's a great running back. But I think they'll obviously be coming against Nebechi, and I think Nebechi is better than anything they'll have come across. And that O-line for Portsmouth, when it gets moving, it can really move.
Yeah.
You saw it against Exeter in the second half.
I mean, when you look at Portsmouth last year, travelling up to Warwick and losing that game. It's Warwick were. Let's go back. I mean, the generational run from Warwick last year to the finals. Let's be honest. They got to give credit to the Warwick Wolves. Unfortunately, not be able to do it this time. Obviously, they did beat Cardiff in the first round last year, as mentioned prior. So it will be an interesting one. Go on, Cam. Ruin Div 1 for everyone.
As far as I'm aware, Div 1 North is entirely locked in. I think this is there's no more games to play. I'm fairly certain this will be it. It will be Lancashire at home to MMU, which is boring.
Interdivision.
It'll be Napier at home to Glasgow.
Boring. Interdivision.
It'll be Nottingham Green at home to Stirling. Fun.
Good game. Good game.
And then it will be Manchester at home to Sheffield Hallam.
I love that game. I love that fixture so much. I love that fixture. That's a good game. Give me Manchester versus Hallam all day long. So go on, Cam. Obviously, we have to wait for whatever happens with this KCL versus Kent situation. But I had to ask Cam to prepare both.
Yeah, so if KCL win that game, then they take the 1 seed in the South, which means that the first matchup, this is barring some weird tomfoolery with Oxford.
I think they've gone down as voided.
Wait, the Oxford ones or the KCL Kent?
They're voided. They're all voided.
What, right now?
Yeah, they're voided.
Just the KCL Kent game as well?
It's voided, yeah.
Okay, so who's above you?
Hold on. I will say, Brit, if you're still watching, there's your answer.
Who's on top in the table at the minute? Is it Kent?
So it's KCL. So right now, the South is very boring in terms of who's playing who.
Yeah.
Right
It's
now,
KCL versus Birmingham is what I've got.
No.
That's a good game. Oh, okay.
I've got Hearts are the number 1 seed.
Yeah. So sorry, correct me. So are Kent on top in that division at the minute?
No.
I've got KCL as being above Hearts.
No, so Hearts have got 14 points. KCL got 13. So in terms of the seedings,
yes, sorry, because the game's voided.
So it's Hearts, then KCL, and then Cuda.
Yeah. So I've got Hearts versus Birmingham,
Boo.
KCL versus Brighton,
Boo.
Bristol versus Bournemouth,
Boo.
and then Kent at home versus OBU.
Good game.
No, it can't be. So
sorry,
it's Kent versus Brooks.
I just said that.
That's what you said.
Did you? Oh, sorry, my bad. You probably said Kent versus Brighton.
No, I said Kent versus OBU, and then you said no, it's Kent versus Brighton.
No, I've got to side with Cal on this one. So only one interesting game there, Kent versus OBU at Kent as well.
Actually, that is a game that, to be fair,
that's a really good game.
Outweighs.
It's a shame they're all interdivisional except for that.
This is I was sort of hoping for that KCL win because KCL versus Brum. That's a game I would go to that game if I was able to go to that game. I would go to that game and absolutely eat it up on the Brum sideline. So you'll know my pick for that one.
If KCL just won that game, we'd have such a better bracket because you'd have KCL versus Brum and Hearts versus Brighton.
If KCL just taken up Kent's offer of playing it on 3G instead of trying to mess about with it, then
Right, so I'm not sure if you're able to. If you say no, that's fine. Have you got Northern Div 2? Is it able to be done?
Yes, I think I've got Northern Div 2.
Okay, let's go.
A couple of assumptions and filling in gaps and what have you.
Guess. We're guessing.
Both the Div 2 ones are pretty much guesses. Because it uses win rate and not Bucks points when they've not played an equal number of games. Which is true. SJ, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so. It's not Bucks points, but yeah.
Yeah, it should be LJMU in the 1 seed because their div only has 4 scheduled games and they'd have a 100% win rate, which would make it LJMU versus ARU.
Good game.
Theoretically, York versus Sunderland.
Bad game.
Coventry versus Staffordshire.
Good game.
Hull versus Cambridge.
Good game.
Here's the funny thing, is what we've got and what our friends at Inside Britball have got are different.
Yeah,
So someone here is wrong.
the thing is, it's a guess based on
Points per game played from Chris in the chat.
points per game played. What points against is what I'm guessing.
No, points per game played. So
Have IBB posted?
That's just win rate. Bucks points per game played is win rate.
So it's not Bucks points. It's Bucks points is what you get at the end of the season. It's just points.
So what league points? Well, then it's
so
just,
yeah.
it's
So
win
it's
rate then.
no. So it would be like, okay, I played 4 games, and I've got 6 points.
Yeah. Yes, it's just win rate. I'm right. Which means if the KCL Kent game is voided.
No, doesn't come into play with that. No.
Yeah, no, sorry. It's just because it's different lengths of season. But yeah, no. As far as I'm concerned, because it's points per game played, LJMU take the 1 seed because they only have a 4-game season and they'll have a 100% win rate.
Average points for.
It's annoying. This is why it's a guess.
This is why it's like just wait until Bucks do it because what is going on?
Yeah, this is us. This is us guessing. We're not. This isn't what it is, but it's more so. It's just fun to. It's just fun to do. Okay, just fun. Just try to have a little bit of fun. But sorry. I mean those fixtures. I mean, give me the LJMU. Give me Hull versus Cambridge as well. That's a good game. If I lived near Hull, I'd go to that game. I don't.
The D2 South, in theory, is also a very good set of games. Again, in theory, the first game isn't. It would theoretically be Swansea versus Worcester. This is under the assumption that Worcester either win or are given a walkover against Aberystwyth. The walkover is kind of assumed as Aberystwyth walked over their last game, and Worcester fought very hard to get that game rescheduled against them, so I'm guessing the walkover's probable. Unfortunately,
I'd agree with that.
So I've assumed that Worcester take a walkover win, which would put them above Gloucester, who I'm assuming lose to UWE2s.
Right. Okay. Hold on a second here. So I'm just saying this as the former president of the Gloucester Gladiators. It's Gloucestershire. Yeah. Stop calling it Gloucester.
Sorry. I'm assuming Gloucestershire lose to the UWE2s. I thought you were going to take issue with the fact that I was assuming that, but no, it was just the pronunciation.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
But yeah, so game 1 would theoretically be Swansea versus Worcester, I think. Then it'd be
bad game.
Imperial versus Sussex. Again,
good game. That's a great game.
It would be Imperial or QMBL. They're interchangeable.
Still a good game. I'd still enjoy that fixture.
Then Reading versus the UWE2s.
That's a good game.
And then Surrey versus QMBL or Imperial.
That's a good game. Those are some good D2 matchups, actually. Yeah. I mean, those are all good.
If Sussex wins, it becomes Sussex versus UWE2s and Imperial / QMBL. Either way, Imperial, QMBL, Surrey and Sussex are basically going to be playing some combination of each other.
Yeah. To be fair, though, that's good, though. Like, all 4 of those teams, mishmash, pretty good mishmash. And I mean, with that is the end of Cam's only segment of the year, where he predicts. But again, that is a prediction. That is not a guess. We're not going to publish them. I might clip this.
It is a guess. No, it is a guess. It is a guess.
What did I say?
You said it's not a guess.
Oh, no, it's definitely a guess. It is 100% a guess. This is not factual. This is just guessing based on what Cam thinks and what he's run through his prediction simulator that he has, which he's tried to explain to me multiple times, and I just can't wrap my head around it. So, I mean, that's it. I mean, that is the show. We will see you on Sunday. So, if you are interested in the absolute corker that is the QMBL Vipers versus the Imperial Immortals, it will be, any player I can get my hands on that Sunday. It will be on our story. I'll make sure to cut together a nice highlight package. But the winner of that game goes up from the southeast into the southeast one. That is where we will be this Sunday. Cam will potentially Mate, why are you being weird down the mic, man? What's going on?
Sorry, it was from Chris. Here's a headphone for you, Cameron. Assume Lanks versus LJMU is voided. It currently is on Bucks play. It wasn't. It was a walkover this morning, so that's changed literally everything I've looked at.
Oh, Seb's there.
Very. That is annoying, and I don't have an answer for you because.
And that is why that's why we're guessing out here. Well, that's why we're guessing here. So we'll definitely Sorry,
I just want to say for the record, it says under results that the game is voided. However, on the league table, it still has Lancaster as having taken the walkover. So
there's nothing you can do about that, mate.
Just nightmare.
Nightmare.
Hate for us to decide.
So we'll definitely be at QMBL versus Imperial at the weekend. We may also be, and by we mean Cam, we may also be at Leeds Beckett versus Loughborough. So yeah, just stay tuned. Oh, let me, Chris,
take the league with more league points. Yeah,
right. Okay, I'm gonna look down the barrel here. I will drive anywhere to live stream the coin toss. I live stream that coin toss live on Depth 4K camera. I will live stream that coin toss, please. If it comes to it, please. I know Tonye hates this episode, but please, Tonye, let me live stream it. So Sunday, QMBL versus Imperial, maybe Loughborough versus Leeds, and then we will see you back here on Monday at most likely 7 o'clock. Could be earlier for, the last regular season, the last full week of the regular season rundown. Obviously, we will have some games probably popping up within the week. We know that we have got Worcester versus Aberystwyth on Tuesday, hopefully, which I might be at, dependent on if I decide to go to work that day. But then it's not really a game that you want to skive off of work for. But then also, I like Uniball more than I like my job. So that's the end of it. We'll see you on Sunday. We will be posting our deciders as well, and hopefully I will be able to get another have a day out, dependent on what time I go to sleep tonight. So, yeah, we'll see you on Sunday.
Goodbye.